Hello, English 2 students. It's your boy, Mr. Sherman, here to give you a screencast on good essay writing techniques, as you can see over here. Okay, first, what you need to do is go into your English 2 Quarter 4 folder, your page on Canvas, and what you're looking for is this good essay writing notes link. So notice if you didn't do the journal entry for today, you need to go back and do that first because this is probably blocked for you. I've set up some new settings in Canvas to make sure you're doing work in the appropriate order. So once you're ready to go on this, though, click on the 5-3 Good Essay Writing Notes link, and then you can click this link right here to get a copy of your Cornell Notes template. Okay, so this should look really familiar to you. Okay, so notice, though, if we look back here, we're naming this document your last name and then Good Essay Writing Notes. So make sure that you do that. Okay, so we're making a copy of it. Your last name, Good Essay Writing Notes. Once you click OK, you have your own document. So if we, again, refer back to these directions, you're supposed to create a new folder here for your sophomore research project. Even though you've already done this for O'Connor's class, I want you to do it for my class too. So we can do this right from the Google Doc. Make sure you have this open. Click here on the folder button. Click My Drive. Actually, let me go back and do that again. Instead of clicking My Drive, you're going to click Move This Item. And then when you click My Drive, you would open up your English 2 folder, and you have this ability right here to add a new folder. I already did this with my block period earlier. You add a new folder, title it Sophomore Research Project Resources. And then once you click check, you can move it right into the folder. That way it's already in your folder. Once you share it with me, you won't get that annoying message that says, please move it into your folder. Okay, once you have this though, what I want you to do is split your screen up the way that I have mine split up so that you have the video in this section and then your notes in this section. That way you'll be able to easily get the information from the PowerPoint and then put it into your notes. Okay, so on your notes screen, I want you to write in the name of this unit, which is Sophomore Project Good Essay Writing. Now, I'm going to move faster than you're going to type. So at any time, I want you to just simply pause this video to make sure you get caught up in the notes, and then replay it once you have what you need. Okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about here is the essential question, which is really general. What should all good essays contain? All right? So we're generally going to go over what the structure of a good essay looks like and what the structure of good paragraphs within good essays looks like. That's all we're going to talk about today. We'll get into more specifics as we get closer to writing the paper. But I want you to have this information so that we can start some practicing with writing in this style. Okay? So this is just general information. On the left side of your sheet, I want you to type, all good essays should have. Okay? So once you have this stuff filled in, all good essays should have. And then on the right side, I want you to put the bullet points. If you just want to write them, that's fine. Blah, blah, blah. Or you can use bullet points, which is Control-Shift-8. Up to you. Okay? But just make sure you have all this information. So, all good essays should have writing that shows you understand the subject that you're writing about. Okay, so that seems pretty obvious, but it's not a good essay unless your writing shows that you understand what was expected of you. You also need an explanation, argument, or thesis that is proven throughout your paper. So this is going to be the main point that you're making throughout the paper, or something that you talk about at the beginning and then prove throughout the paper with evidence. So these last 3 bullet points are related to your thesis. It should show that you have deep analysis and supporting evidence to support whatever claim you're making. There should be critical and creative comments and insight throughout the paper, and you should have it written in a way that's a smooth writing style. Eloquent just means it flows. So, underneath eloquent writing style, here are some additional components that sort of help you understand what I mean by smooth writing style. If your thoughts are well organized, it means that your paper flows. Rather than having different sections of a paper, a good paper is more coherent if there are simply well-organized thoughts and good transitions that help you move from one idea to another without the paper seeming like it pauses or has breaks in it. You also need to make sure you're having good word choice. This could be words that are specific to what you're teaching or what you're trying to write about, but it also could just include making sure that the words that you use are more academic. Also, you want to make sure that when you're integrating quotes and evidence from other sources, that you're citing that properly. This is, again, stuff that we'll get more into later. And last but not least, you need to have no grammar or punctuation errors in an academic paper because it's a major requirement at the college level and it's something that you need to make sure you have. So here is the next step. So on your note sheet, once you have everything for all good essays should have, I want you on both sides of your notes to just insert a horizontal line. So again, that's insert and then horizontal line, just so there's a good clear breakup. And then start your next section, which in this case is major components of essays. Okay, so all essays contain these basic components. There's an introduction, which goes over what the topic is about, and you're starting to introduce the reader to what is going to come throughout the rest of the paper. Then you have the main body, which is several paragraphs that usually is evidence and analysis and you explaining things that you already briefly went over in your introduction. Last but not least, you have a conclusion, which is you sort of wrapping up all the main ideas you made in the paper. And after you have the major writing pieces done, the actual paragraphs, you need to have a works cited or a reference page, especially for this paper, because we're doing research and we're pulling evidence from multiple sources. Next, we have good paragraphs. Can it wait? I'm doing like a screencast. It's all good. So next, we have what is going to be present in good paragraphs. So all good paragraphs contain 3 parts. A topic sentence, which is your introduction sentence, a supporting sentence or sentences, which sort of goes into more detail and has evidence to back up what you said in your topic sentence, and then lastly, a wrapping up or transitional sentence, which is sort of like the conclusion of your paragraph. And if we're talking about good flow, is going to lead into the next paragraph. So I'll get more specific about each of these 3 types of paragraphs. There's a topic sentence that begins the paragraph. This is almost always the first sentence of the paragraph. What this will do is show the main idea of your paragraph so that when I read that, I know what the rest of your paragraph is about. Okay? So a topic sentence captures everything that's going to be in the paragraph and also gives you a hint about what's to come. Next, we have the supporting sentences, which follow, which comes after the topic sentences. This would be like the body of the paragraph, the way that you have a main body of your paper. So this is where you explain things that were said in the topic sentence in more detail, you show examples, and you have evidence that supports what you said in the topic sentence. Everything that is in a supporting sentence should directly relate to what is said in the topic sentence at the beginning. This should be separated with transition words, which we'll get more into as we get closer to writing. And this also is the most important part with supporting sentences. You need to keep paragraphs focused, so avoid using sentences that don't directly relate to what you already said in your topic or introduction sentence. The last type of sentence that we have in a paragraph is a wrapping up or a transitional sentence. This is the end of it. It's at least 1 or 2 sentences that summarizes the main idea of what you said. You want it to be a little different than the topic sentence because that's where we need to avoid sort of repeating the same thing. You just need to use slightly different language. So you're summarizing the content of that paragraph and you're also preparing the reader for what's to come next. That's the transitional piece. So wrapping up sentences might be easy for us at first, but we need to get better than just writing a wrapping up or a conclusion sentence and actually making it transitional in nature. I'm going to get more specific about what all of this looks like tomorrow. But make sure that if you missed any aspect of the notes, that you're going back in this screencast and getting the notes that you need, because this is information that is going to be very important to us when it comes to writing sophomore research projects. Hopefully this was helpful, and at the bare minimum, you're going to be able to look back at these notes when I give you feedback so that you understand what aspects of writing you're doing well at and what you need help with. All right, y'all. That's all for this screencast. I hope this was helpful, and make sure that you submit your notes once you're completed with them. This is Sherman signing off.